The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Damn, the Canucks just shut me up. I was in the hospital, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? That's how stressed out I was. Now they just went 4-1-1, 4-1-1, I'm sorry, without JT Miller and Quinn Hughes. And I'm, what? Like, what are they? What a season. Let's do this on Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I can't even speak English off the top of this episode. I'm just flabbergasted, okay? This Vancouver Canucks season has been, I don't know if I want to use the word entertaining, but it's definitely been all over the place. And right now, you got to admit, it's on a bit of a high, okay? Probably the highest it's been all season long. The Canucks 4-1-1. No, 6-1-1. Did I say 4-1-1? I'm all over the place. 6-1-1 in their last 8 games. Things are not making sense for me, okay? What's the record without Quinn Hughes? 3-0-1. It's the same record without no. Is it the same record without JT Miller? No, they're 3-1-1 without JT Miller. Yo, this team, they're playing like a team. That's the most important thing, okay? I know there's so much to talk about with certain individuals, the most polarizing individuals. Also, Philip Baronic. But man, the camaraderie out of nowhere. So many new faces, so many moving parts. The biggest grip of the leadership that was in that room taken, right? Then you also throw in the Quinn Hughes injury, and you just have a team that's playing tighter than ever, and it's proven me wrong, and it shut me up and brought me back to life. Okay, I don't think I'm going to the hospital anytime soon. I'm not going to stress out about this team because I feel as if something's happened, and this is the effort we're going to get, and this is also the speed we're going to get, and this is also the goaltending we're going to get, no matter who's in net. Okay, Demko or Lankinen. More on that in a couple of minutes. But yeah, the Vancouver Canucks, they pick up a 2-1 win. It's a 2-1 win against the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Vancouver Canucks, even in the midst of their struggles before the 6-1-1 stretch, they're doing it. They're playing more structured than ever, right? They're holding it down, and outside a couple frantic moments, and more so the most of it coming at the end of the game when it usually does happen, they held Toronto in check, okay? And again, that's without Quinn Hughes, and that's with Elias Pettersson, I'm sorry, and Marcus Pettersson just starting off with, again, the Vancouver Canucks. Like, there's so many new faces back there, no captain, and they're just able to listen to the coaches, have that connection, have that communication, just hold it down, okay? Hold it down, and create the base for a Vancouver Canucks team that will still struggle to score with all these new pieces and things warming up, and also minus Quinn Hughes. But again, have that base of defense and structure and goaltending that will keep them in games. And you never know. I don't want to jinx it, but hey, go Seattle, go. We might head into the break with the 4-point lead. Now that is something else. Okay, let's get to some comments before we get into some other things. Who knows how long this episode's going to be? It might be 30 minutes. It might be 50 minutes. Who knows? Because the Shut Me Up tour, the 6-1-1 tour that the Canucks just pulled off, it's surprising, and I'll use the word entertaining now. Yo, I'm entertained, and I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan, okay? Let's get to your comments and questions. Man, oh man, look at this comment from Dan Jardine, okay? Philip Baronic has really stepped up since Quinn's injury. What a performance. Okay, you know what that Philip Baronic performance just did right there? This single one. It reminded me that last Friday, okay, 8 days ago. Go check out the episode, okay? Probably our most quote-unquote popular episode of all time. The moment we traded for Marcus Pettersson, okay? I was all over the place. I pulled over on the side of the road to record a podcast. Dude, I feel like I lost a friend that night too. Dude, again, frantic, emotional. The people at Taco Fino, they, metaphorically speaking, they kicked me out of their restaurant because, I couldn't shut up about what was going on. Speaking of shutting up, every time Alvin and Rutherford trade a first-round pick they just got 10 minutes ago. I cannot get mad. I can't record a podcast 20 minutes after that. I gotta just do the research, listen to Deepak Chopra, and just remind myself that, yo, the cost to get a top 4 defenseman is high, super high, the most high, okay? It's like trading for Connor McDavid than trading for a top 4 defenseman. And yes, this Filip Hronek performance, the guy that we traded Bo Horvat for pretty much a couple seasons ago, was worth it. And it made it seem like the Marcus Pettersson trade was worth it as well, okay? You know what I'm saying? Connect those dots. How good has Filip Hronek been? And he's doing it without Quinn Hughes on a separate pair. It's lining up that those two don't play together. Hence giving us that deeper D. What? That deeper D. Deeper D? Hence giving us that deeper D that we've always wanted, okay? Representing us. And Hronek can hold it down. Again, since he's gotten here, and this was on full display last year as well, his tenacity, his toughness, his FU, always there, okay? Always there. His ability to swing that puck over to Quinn Hughes in the offensive zone. It looks easy, but it's not. And we saw something very, 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 very similar to just that when he swung the puck over to Philip Hedl, and then he gave it to Brock Besser for the game-winning goal. Again, the guy's got skill. The guy's got he's got a lot of composure, right? Not the most, but he's got a lot. But his willingness to, again, be tenacious along the boards, be physical against other players, and if this makes sense, tenacious with his instincts, because he's willing to make plays, and you see it with the one time or two. Yeah, he misses the net a lot, but he's trying. He's trying to make things happen all the time. And today, he got us to win. He was our best player. Oh, but what about Elias Pettersson? Dude, we'll talk about him. But Filip Hronek, by far and away, probably played his best game as a Vancouver Canuck. And that's a statement. Again, a big FU type of player. This guy's probably doing that because, yo, Czech Republic, they're not in the 4 nations, right? Trying to put his country on the back. All jokes aside, he was really trying to put his team on the back today, okay? On his back today. And maybe this whole stretch without Quinn, he had a bit of a want to, again, help us win games. Help us win games. And again, 6-1-1. How is that even possible? Again, the people who have been big Locked On Canucks fans, you guys know I was in the hospital. I never told y'all why I got there. I don't want to spread the propaganda. I don't want people not to watch the Canucks. But, yo, if you don't believe me, I got Canuckitis. Canuckasuckaitis. Okay? It's when you watch too much Canucks hockey and you don't have a life, and then you ignore your loved ones, and before you know it, you're just drinking coffee and watching the Canucks. And I had Canuckasuckaitis, and it led to pneumonia. Where am I going with this? Next comment. Look at this one. Suck on that, East Coast media. Damn. See a lot of people, right, upset with the Maple Leafs situation, right? Every time they come to this side of the world, we got to play in their time zone. Didn't we play this Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals at home ice? Not at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Didn't that happen too? The East Coast bias always quote unquote winning. But hey, they didn't win again in Toronto. Okay, Toronto just does not win in Vancouver. Who knows? Who knows what they were doing the night before, right? Hey, join the Discord. Link in the bio, okay? Next comment. Man, oh man, look at this comment. I like the specifics. Again, we'll talk about Elias Pettersson. I got it, okay? My staff is working on a letter right now, okay? I'm sending him a gift basket. We'll also talk about Thatcher Demko too. I got on the line with my family doctor. I'm trying to hook him up with my family doctor. Yo, if you want my knee, take it. I'm scared for Thatcher Demko. I really am, and we'll get to that. But let's talk about the details, because again, the Canucks won today because they're a team. They're 6-1-1 because they're a team. That camaraderie, no individual stuff. We'll get to those individuals later, but right now, the Canucks are a team. Speaking of which, my teammate Trevor Begg's with us right now. Trevor, I'm throwing this right to you right away. Tell us about Sherwood's insane hustle and sacrificing his body in the corner, leading to the game-winning power play. Okay, just talk about Kiefer Sherwood's hustle the whole way, and I'll also throw in Drew O'Connor too. Like, again, we're playing like a team, and the hustle matters, Trevor. It really does.
Man, oh man, it was one of those penalties too. When Kiefer Sherwood got a high stick and he got rocked back to McLarson, and he's hurting after the play. They're like, "Come on, Canucks! This is the power play to bury the Leafs." And I know I was telling my kids, I'm like, "Canucks got to score here. Do it for Kiefer Sherwood." My kids are going like they're eating their mini eggs, they're drinking their juice. They're like, "What?" And then Canucks go and score in the power play, and I'm yelling my ass off, man, because that's the kind of win. That's the kind of power play you want to score on. I'm pumped, man. I know why you got the bud in the title, Kyle, but I'm pumped, man. It feels extra good to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, and man, oh man, the Canucks, they did it tonight.
Hey, I got to put the but at the end of the title because it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, we'll talk about it eventually. Okay, the whole Demko thing, but let's talk about the team. Sherwood. I thought Höglander played aggressive, not his best game in the defensive zone, but hey, they're just getting in on the action. Drew O'Connor, I can't speak enough about it, man. I know we spent some time talking about him. 2 days ago, and we spent some time asking that question. Oh, well, why did Vegas and the Oilers want him so bad? Yo, we're getting that answer right now because just like Kiefer Sherwood, he's able to be effective, shift in and shift out just based on his tenacity. Okay, like they do it in different ways, but I don't think this is an adrenaline thing from Drew O'Connor. And if it is, he's a UFA at the end of the year. Keep bringing it. Playing in Western Canada too. I just think that Drew O'Connor. I'm assuming he's a good old Canadian boy. Okay. Drew O'Connor reminds me of Kiefer Sherwood. I think he's going to be effective the whole way through, man.
Oh, yeah. Drew O'Connor was fantastic tonight. I mean, again, the Canucks, it's hustle city in Vancouver right now, man. Kiefer Sherwood, Drew O'Connor, Nils Höglander, like you mentioned. And man, oh, man, Philip Pronik. I don't know if you talked about Philip Pronik yet, but
I did.
thought he was the best Vancouver Canuck tonight. Yeah, Philip Pronik, his game score tonight, almost game score of 5, which is like, again, probably one of the best performances by a Canuck player this season in one game. I mean, Philip Pronik has been tenacious. He's been physical. He's been fast. He's been making plays. He has stepped up and then some in the absence of Quinn Hughes. Of course, he is not Quinn Hughes. We all know that. But man, oh man, Philip Pronik has been so solid for this team. And even on that first goal, I know, again, Elias Pettersson under the microscope right now, he did have a good game tonight. Again,
yeah, we'll touch on that the second half.
I'm not even touching the negatives, man. He made plays. He was defensive. He was good in the offensive zone. But man, oh man, when he stepped that Philip Pronik goal, he's standing with the puck, and I'm like going, Petey, move your goddamn feet. What are you doing? And of course, he made me look like an idiot, finding Philip Pronik through 3 guys on the opposite side of the ice. So again, Elias Pettersson found a way to make an impact. I thought, actually, I did really think Elias Pettersson and Philip Pronik were the 2 best Canucks tonight. I know Elias Pettersson getting a lot of heat, but those are the two stars of the game in my book for the Canucks.
And Kevin Lankinen as well. And again, just hold on, people. Yep. Okay, don't worry. Me and Trevor. Again, we're gonna get to Elias Pettersson. We're gonna spend a lot of time talking about his performance, but I'm making the gift basket, and Trevor's the daughter's painting him a picture. Okay, we all, again, apologies, he's in 5 or 6 minutes, but again, just I continue. I just want to continue to talk about the whole team aspect and certain guys before the main characters, and let's bring up another defenseman who, just like Elias Pettersson, has gotten whooped by the people. Okay, he's used to it though. He could take that whipping. I kind of want to get smacked now, okay? I want to be resilient. Where am I going with this? Tyler Myers, man. Come on. Without Quinn Hughes, too. Like, you know what I'm saying? A couple weeks ago, we're like, yo, he's playing better hockey. Keep him with Quinn Hughes. Now we can split Hronek and Hughes up, blah, blah, blah. Myers is better with Hughes. But, yo, come on. Tyler Myers, he's looking like Marcus Pettersson out there, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, right now it's, with Tyler Myers, I know there's a chaotic nature to his game, but, Marcus Pettersson has succeeded with defensemen who take risks, and Tyler Myers certainly takes risks. He's not a Chris Letang, he's not a Quinn Hughes, he's not an Erik Karlsson, but he takes risks. And it helps for Tyler Myers to have a partner who doesn't take risks and who plays a smart, responsible defensive game. And I mean, I don't want to get too optimistic. And I know we've talked a lot about the future of the blue line here, and the future of the blue line in Vancouver is looking crisp right now. Tyler Myers, not a part of the long-term future, but he's a part of the present. And right now, when you look at the Canucks top 4, when Quinn Hughes is healthy, Hughes, Hronek, Pettersson, and Myers, man, oh man, that's not looking too bad if you're the Vancouver Canucks.
Especially if Tyler Myers continues to play like this, and he's streaking his own sense as well. And I don't know if this will be able to continue the whole way through, but this is the hardest time for it to happen consistently. And he's shown that he's been able to, again, just play a certain way and provide stability, which sounds, again, crazy. But if you're talking about a team that needed stability, you can't find me a team in need of that more than the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, again, outside of all the noise and outside of the trade, and then right away, you make all these moves and your captain's out of the lineup, and your captain also happens to be the guy who's in line to win the Hart Trophy. You cannot make this stuff up. And then, oh yeah, Demko. He gets hurt in 5 minutes. And again, before we talk about the main characters, just the ability for these guys to stay composed and poised and just stick to the quote unquote basics and finish their checks and be tenacious the whole way through and not mail it in prior to vacation. Like, we're missing so much offense. We're missing all these players, blah, blah, blah. But again, Trevor, we are missing being a team for the majority of the season. And it's just refreshing that our fans get to see that right now. Like, it feels good.
Yeah, 100% it feels good. And you know what? To be honest, tonight, I think every single Canuck had a good game. Like, even when I'm looking at game score after the game and checking out the stats, no Canuck tonight had a negative game score. When I look at the Leafs, about half their team had a negative game score tonight, including Mitch Marner, including William Nylander, including John Tavares. Like, that line was not great for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Austin Matthews just barely above being a negative player tonight. So, the Maple Leafs, again, they came in on a 3-game win streak. They had lost 3 prior to this. I mean, Kyle, we all know Leaf fans in our life. I mean, they're everywhere. They're like a goddamn infection, man, and not even the good kind of infection. Mm-hmm. But I know Leaf fans are not believing in their team right now. It doesn't matter what they do in the regular season. They're going to be judged in the playoffs. And even though they're one of the best teams in the league right now in terms of points, they've shown inconsistency all season long. And I think that applies to tonight as well.
Yeah, and maybe we'll, again, be able to, how do I say this? Bring up a certain Leafs player, Leafs superstar who's not playing at his quote-unquote best right now, and be able to feel better about ourselves when it comes to, again, Elias Pettersson, who outside of games against the Maple Leafs has not looked like himself for the majority of the season. But again, we played the Maple Leafs tonight, and Elias Pettersson was, I'm going to use the word right now. Like, there was a little bit of icon. Yes, icon shown in Pettersson's game today. Okay, more on that in a couple minutes. But first, we got to shout out Game Time. And Trevor, just start some comments. I'll read the ad, and we'll get to your comments. We'll also do 5 minutes for report cards. Maybe I'll pull out a couple tweets too. I'm down to be here for quite some time just to talk to the people. Again, it's a Saturday night, and the Canucks, they just finished their quote-unquote first half of the season in a playoff spot. And through all the noise, I don't know how they did it. Again, a couple weeks ago, I'm in the hospital, Canuckasuckalitis, and here I am. Bro, I'm happy, yo. I can't wait to kiss my girlfriend. Anyways, let's shout out Game Time. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time, man. Game Time. Come on, man. Today I got offered tickets to the game. My homie's like, yo, I'll take you to the game. You can have a ticket for at cost, okay? At cost. Just take me to the game for free. I couldn't have gone, but I was working. But hey, why would I take those tickets at cost when I could just use Game Time, okay? Game Time is a better friend than my friend, if you really think about it, okay? Okay, the best place to get the lowest price on your last minute tickets guaranteed. That is, again, just the truth. They also got Game Time picks, okay? So you don't have to stress out. This app does all the work for you, okay? It kind of knows you. It creates the best deals, so you don't have to waste time searching through endless ticket listings. They also got that thing called, what's it called again? Oh, they don't lie to you. You see a number, that's how much you're paying, okay? They don't tease you. They're honest with you, okay? It is what it is. Anyways, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And again, that's LOCKEDONNHL at checkout, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets at the lowest price, guaranteed. Okay, we back doing this. Kyle Bowen at the Don't Those Art Lab. Trevor Beggs, second best dad in the world, bringing bacon home to his family. Trevor, I already know what you're doing after this postgame show. This is how happy you are. 6-1-1, boom, bam. You're gonna surprise your family with a couple pizzas. Okay, a couple pizzas and a rented movie. That's how you celebrating tonight. On that note, before we talk about the Canucks, I actually want to know about this because again, I'm trying to learn more about you and your family. But what was the last movie that you rented?
God, no, you know what it was? It was the Paw Patrol movie. Because on Amazon Prime, you can't. Obviously, if you have Amazon Prime, you get some stuff, but then you got to rent and pay for some other
Okay.
stuff. So
I
we
was
rented
trying to
the
take a
Paw Patrol
throwback
movie.
with an actual VHS, but I can see that
No.
technology.
I can't. I
technology.
shouldn't say this live, but I'm definitely a third party streaming guy. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
So
wow, okay,
renting
okay.
movies,
All
yeah,
right.
not my thing.
Yeah, I was trying to take it back to Blockbuster talk, but you know what? Trevor Beggs, he's a Gen Zer, okay?
And you
He's
know what?
adapting.
I know what? F the pizzas, man. You know what I did for my family tonight? Cooked a leg of lamb, man. Because when it's the Canucks and the Leafs, you got to go bigger. You got to go home. So you got to have that leg of lamb, a big piece of
Woo!
meat, because the Canucks were feeling meaty tonight. Again,
They-
what were some of the comments here, man? Let's get to the comments, man. Come on, I got a few lined up, and one
Meaty.
related to meat. Man, oh man, there was a comment here about how the Canucks are looking so damn good on the wings, man. And it goes to Oliver Sholnick, Sherwood, Dak, Garland, O'Connor, not even including Nils Höglander. We got some dogs on the wings. And again, there's another comment here about the Leafs being soft. And you know what? With the Canucks right now, I think the one thing you could say is that, man, is this too early to tell? They're not a soft team. Like they might not be. I know we were
Wow.
talking like we had Mother Knucker on like let's get Matthew Olivier. We're not tough enough, but look at the Canucks in terms of fighting majors. They're top 10. They're top 10 in hits. I do feel like they play for each other, and or at least it's felt
Wow.
that way since Miller's been gone. And maybe this is a little too
Wow.
early to tell. It's only been about 5 games, but
Oh,
and we've had guys like Dak and Sherwood miss time too. But when this team is healthy, obviously we're lacking some stuff in terms of the superstar talent right now, and maybe that'll come. But in terms of the hustle and the fight, the Canucks, they hustle and they fight. It's like me in the sack. Might not be the biggest superstar, but I hustle and I fight, baby.
yeah. I try to hustle and fight, but sometimes I crumble in the sack. I'm trying to get over it. It's a confidence thing, okay? Anyway, where am I? Okay, so I still think that the Canucks, like they play hard. Like right now, over the last 2 weeks almost, like they've been playing hard. They've been working together. They've been showing effort more so than they did in the previous, what is it, like 45 games or whatever the math is. Like we're seeing like they're surprising me. Okay. That being said, I still would like a little bit more bite, just a bit more bite, just for protection purposes. Even today, I feel as if there are some moments where I feel like Toronto was just taking like extra shots at Lankinen, just like, a bit late in contact and all that stuff. And I'm like, just don't touch the goalie at all. Make it known ASAP. That's just me. All in all, though, one name that you kind of brought up, I wanna hone in on too is Dakota Joshua. Okay, I didn't really see the bite from him today, but I saw all the effort, and I also saw his defensive awareness, which we saw last year be a huge bright spot for this team. He was one of our best penalty killers, but just 5-on-5 in general, I thought this guy was doing amazing work, retrieving pucks along the board in the defensive zone, being patient with it, getting the puck out, and he's slowly finding his game. And we've barely talked about him all season because he's been in and out of the lineup for so many reasons, for humane reasons. Okay, maybe we should treat all players like this, but it is what it is. More empathy towards that guy, that warrior, than ever. And I'm just happy to see that he may be finding out his game and another type of X factor player for the bottom 6 of this Vancouver Canucks team.
Or maybe even the top 6, as we've seen with some iterations of the
Oh,
forward lineup, right? And yeah, I know he's not producing at that rate, and he is a better guy to have in your bottom 6. But you did see Joshua and Garland get a shift with PD there later on in the game. Dakota Joshua, again, he's gone through a lot, and I think it is hard to, come back and do what he did last year on a couple of levels. First and foremost, he shot over 20% last year. That was unlikely to happen again. But when you miss most of training camp, not even just due to an injury, but due to cancer, that's not even like physical pain, but that's mental pain as well. And then he comes back, he's starting to find his groove again, boom, gets injured again. And, with Dakota Joshua, look, it's the same with Joshua and the rest of the Canucks right now. Just get into the playoffs, and what really matters is what they do in the playoffs. And it's the same for a team like the Leafs, especially for as much crumbling as they've done in the postseason. But it's certainly true with the Vancouver Canucks right now. And again, right now we'll see what happens with the Flames and the Kraken tonight. I'll say go Kraken, go, just for this one night here. The Canucks have a chance to finish 4 points up in the wildcard spot heading into Four Nations, which would mean something to this group. Hopefully it doesn't give them complacency, because sometimes I feel like when they've been complacent this season, they've been a little lackluster, especially against bad teams. Mind you, that was in the JT Miller era, but we did see a bit of a lackluster performance against San Jose last night too. So the Canucks team, I mean, they hustle and fight, but they got to keep it going. And regardless, though, they might be in a pretty good spot going into the Four Nations break here.
Yeah, not to be negative, but you kind of hope, you kind of wish that there was no break here, to be honest. But again, rest is good, because the good thing about it is you get Quinn Hughes back healthy, and you might get Thatcher Demko back healthy as well. I guess, again, before we really hone in on it, why don't we run the segment first, okay? 5 minutes for report cards here on Locked On Canucks. Okay, you know the deal. We go through every single player who played today for the Vancouver Canucks and just grade them, and then we hone in on a couple. And I feel as if we talked about a lot of these players already. So, Trevor, the people have heard me talk a lot. Go really fast and just get to Elias Pettersson, okay?
All right, sounds good. Brock Besser, the game-winning goal. I thought he had a good game tonight. Looked dangerous. A-. Carson Soucy, I'm giving him a C. Connor Garland, I'm going to give him an A- as well. A lot of fight, a lot of shot attempts tonight. Philip Hronek, A++. My God, I've been in love with Philip Hronek over the past few games. Drew O'Connor, give him a B. Nils Höglander, give him a B. Pius Suter, give him a B-. D. Petey, give him a B+. Man, oh man.
Stop there. I tricked you. I lied to you. Okay, before we get to Elias, I want to talk about Elias. Watch the 60. Watch the full game. In the beginning of the game, Elias Pettersson on defense, he was struggling a little. I'm like, okay, maybe he's having a rookie moment right now. This is going to be a rookie game. And all it took for him was to have, 2 bad shifts in the beginning of the game to just forget about it. He's like, forget about it. New game reset. Let me be Elias Pettersson. And I felt as if after those first 2 shifts, this guy proved once again that this guy could be legit, bro. He could be legit. His confidence is through the roof. Again, being able to rebound on national TV, loud environment against the Maple Leafs after 2 bad shifts is like, you're a dog. You a dog. I think Elias Pettersson actually a real dog, man. Proven, I wouldn't say proving me wrong, because if you watch the videos in the summer and September, it's kind of proving me right. But man, oh man, I'm surprised at the performances that he's been stacking up here.
Yeah, and again, I thought, like you said, rough start. I would agree with you there. He only plays like 11 and a half minutes tonight, so I think the coaching staff kind of saw that as well. But I did think he got better as the game went on, and he hits that post in the second period there, I believe it was. And man, that would have been something else if D. Petey was able to get the game winner for the Vancouver Canucks. And, say what you will about D. Petey, he is a rookie. He's what, 5-6 games into his NHL career now.
Yeah.
But he's looking better than Carson Soucy, who they're paying $3.25 million. And you wonder if it's going to keep up, because you don't really want to make a knee-jerk reaction on Carson Soucy. But that being said, DPD looks like he's ready to be a full-time NHLer. Much like Alex Edler was at the same age. Just saying.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting that. I'm giving DPD an A. Okay, continue, Trevor.
Derek Forbort, I mean, he had one of the highest game scores tonight among all Canucks. Part of that was playing with Phil Hronek. That pair was electric tonight, but you got to give him some credit. I'm giving Derek Forbort an A- tonight. Marcus Pettersson, I was going to give him a B+, then he missed on an empty net, so I'm going to give him a B. Elias Pettersson, Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm giving him an A- tonight. Honestly, like, solid defensive game. Leads to the Hronek goal, or sets up the Hronek goal. I thought, again, he's lacking speed. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We talked a lot of negative about Elias Pettersson, but I thought this is a pretty damn good game for him overall tonight.
Yeah, just a terrific first period. And again, I used the word icon prior to the break in regards to what I was about to say about Elias Pettersson. And man, that was an iconic shift. That's a textbook. Elias Pettersson is an alien type of shift for real. Okay, does his work in the offensive zone, lays a reverse hit on Benoit, shakes him, startles him, surprises him, gets it on the attack, moves his feet, gets into empty space, gets the puck, gets it back to Forbort, gets it back from Forbort, has that patience. Just again, that's Mahomes to Kelsey, isn't it? That's something else. That Jalen Hurst to AJ Brown. That pass was terrific to Philip Hronek. He also rings one off the post a couple shifts later. He was buzzing in the first period. And again, like, just specifically on that one shift, Trevor, I feel as if a lot of players can't do that. I'm sorry. They can't. Yeah. They can't do everything Pettersson did on that one shift.
Yeah, I mean, his floor is pretty unbelievable because of the skill set he has. I know we're all thirsty, we're all horny to see Elias Pettersson return to superstar form, but no, he looked good tonight. You got to give him credit for that. The next player is Kiefer Sherwood. Let me shout out this comment by Dan Jardine. Keep Sherwood with Petey. They have real chemistry. And, this wasn't predicted before the game tonight because, late morning skate, blah, blah, blah. Or sorry, no morning skate, I should say, because of the 4 p.m. game. Rick Talkin only met with the media at 1:30. So we expected Sherwood to line up in the bottom six again, but they put him with DeBrusque with Sherwood and Petey, and that Petey does need an F1 to go in and forecheck. And DeBrusque, based on his skill set, should be that guy. He's not that guy, but Sherwood is that guy. And I thought that line did look good tonight. Sherwood especially, he had a lot of fight in his game. Teddy Bluger, let me give him a B. Tyler Myers, B+. Philip Hedl, B+. He was flying out there. He was buzzing, making some plays. Jake DeBrusque, I'm actually going to give him like a C, to be honest. Okay. I have not loved DeBrusque's consistency right now, and I think a lot of Canuck fans would agree. Dakota Joshua, I'm giving a B+. Nils Amon, I'm giving a C+. Kevin Lankinen, I'm giving an A-. And Thatcher Demko, I'm giving a B, or an incomplete, because we only saw 5 minutes of him.
Wow. Okay, that was 5 minutes for report cards here on Locked On Canucks, and it's ironic how it ends on Lankinen and Demko, because we got to talk about that, okay? Get the comments wild. I want to know, what's the number for Kevin Lankinen, and is he getting signed tomorrow, okay? Let's get back to the regular format. Okay, let's do it. We actually should have just ran Trevor versus Kyle, because maybe, I don't know, I'm all over the place. Maybe you're a Demko guy today, and I'm a Lankinen guy today. Yesterday, I was a Demko guy, but man, oh man. Thatcher Demko, I hate doing this because this guy's a warrior. I think he's one of the strongest leaders in that room. Everyone rallies for him, and again, when he's playing well, outside of what he's doing on the ice, just his energy levels are up. And I guarantee when he's just coming off a 40 save game or a 35 save game where he allowed 1 goal, he's in that dressing room talking a bit more. He's feeling himself. Boom, bam, bringing the boys together. He needs to be a leader on the ice and off the ice for this team to be optimal. And look how we've been playing recently. He's been playing really good too. And now he's hurt. And I hope he's back after the little break here. But this one made me think more so than ever that you cannot rely on Thatcher Demko. Next year, I thought about next year. Keep Demko for next year. But going into next season, you kind of need Lankinen. You need Lankinen in there.
Yeah, and I'm going to show this this comment from Oliver Sholnick. Demko and Lang splitting starts will be the best goalie duo in the league. And I think that's the energy that we should have as Canucks fans, because it doesn't have to be Team Demko versus Team Lankinen, in my opinion. They're both good goaltenders, right? They're both great goaltenders. And with Kevin Lankinen right now, look, Andrew, the comments saying 5.5 over 6 for Lankinen. To me, that's high. And I don't think Lankinen's getting that even from a team aside from the Vancouver Canucks. But I think Lankinen in that under 5 million range makes sense for the Vancouver Canucks, right? You got Demko at 5 million for another year past this season. You need good goaltending to win in this league. And we've seen it on multiple occasions now. Demko leave the lineup, Kevin Lankinen come in and play hero for the Vancouver Canucks, much like he has all season long. I think at that point, for me with Lankinen, I'm thinking kind of 4.5 over 4 years. That's kind of the number, the range I'm thinking for Kevin Lankinen for the Vancouver Canucks. Kyle, tell me I'm wrong, but I said it earlier this week. Every dayers know. We had the debate about Besser versus Lankinen, and I love Brock Besser. I'm leaning towards even at an $8 million cap hit, and the fact that the cap's going up to the amount it is, I'm leaning towards keeping both of these guys. Call me crazy, but between the two, I think the Canucks got to prioritize Kevin Lankinen.
Yo, I can't tell you you're wrong, because he's such an orthodox player to evaluate when giving a new contract to, because he hasn't had the workload before. But prior to the season starting, all of his analytics, all the fancy stat nerds, excuse me, were saying that he was in line to be this good. They were predicting this, right, Trevor? They a lot of people out there thought that Kevin Lankinen was this good. Okay, so he has that backing him up, boom, bam, and now he gets the opportunity, and just the little details. I feel like he's been thrown into games because Demko's been escaping games early, getting injured early, boom, and he's able to just be poised and composed. And even today, being thrown into that Saturday night action, and you take it all the way to the end of the game, just absolutely robs Austin Matthews. I hope people are not thinking that Matthews fanned on that shot, or maybe it wasn't at 100%, but it was at 99%. Lankinen tracking the elevation on that shot, just doing his thing in a critical moment after, again, replacing Demko. And it's like, yo, is that the sign that he's our guy? That he's our guy? I think so. And right now, if it's Lankinen or Demko, based on how this team is building itself out, I know they might lack some offensive pedigree right now, and losing Bestrom may, put an even bigger dent into that. But isn't this team moving forward like going to be built around Quinn Hughes and that decor and good goaltending? Like, you got to keep Lankinen. Like, whatever it takes, this team needs Lankinen next season. Because if it's not Lankinen, who is it? I like Sheloves, I really do, but they need a number one. They need a number one, because you can't rely on the Thatcher Demko playing game in and game out. You can't even trust Thatcher Demko in general. As the comments are saying, I think it was Sideshow Bob saying, bro, this guy feels a tweak in warm-up and he plays the game. It's the same guy who felt a tweak against Winnipeg and decided to go out in the second period and told the backup at the time, Casey DeSmith, hey, get ready. But he was willing to push through it in the second, or attempt to do so. And both times that part of his psyche has failed him. And he's just a risk. He's a risk. A damn good goalie. I need this guy to be a leader for the team too, and just be a part of the mix. But they need a 1B, bro. Or they need the Olmark Swayman thing. They need that, because they have Demko and he's under contract, and you have to replace Demko with a guy that's kind of like Demko. And Lankinen, I'm sorry, he's one of the best goalies in the league right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you look at the save percentage and goals against above average. I mean, in terms of the MVP quality to the Canucks, I agree he's been one of the best goalies in the league. Statistically, he's been a little bit above average, right? I mean, he's had a couple games that have dragged down the stats, but we all know as Canucks fans how good he's been for this team. A couple comments I did want to get to regarding Demko before we wrap up here on Locked On Canucks. After a win against the Toronto Maple Leafs, suck it, bitch. Meowza Cats in the comments saying, send Demko to Mark Stone Island into the playoffs and use that
Ooh,
cap space.
Meowza!
I like the meowing. I like the buying mentality from Meowza Cats there. Gigatronic asking the question, how much to keep Demko, as we're talking about the contract for Lankinen. And again, Demko, one more season left after this year, making $5 million. It's not a decision you have to make right now, but man, in terms of what Kevin Lankinen has done for this hockey team, I think he's like, you got to sign him. It's getting to be like close to one of the top priorities on this team right now.
Oh, you need him. You need him. And it's not a bad thing. Like, again, internal competition is good. You extend Lankinen, maybe, again, Demko, he does whatever it takes. He does whatever it takes to find more about whatever he's going through, and he's willing to push his body, put his body through it and figure it out and get back into the lineup. Maybe he takes it a step further and actually really, really figures it out and gets fixed. And now he's got that competitive drive with him that's getting quote unquote attacked by Lankinen, or and then he's gonna have to want to have a lot of stars. He needs a new contract next year. It's a big year for Demko too. Maybe we get the best out of Demko because so it's the whole contract thing with Thatcher Demko. Let's deal with that when he plays a full season, and let's be concerned about it, or be worried that he's no longer a Vancouver Canuck when he can prove to be healthy. Like, your biggest trait as a superstar is to be available. And end of the day, let's be real. Obviously, no one deserves to go through this, but I keep saying this time in and time out, and we can notice this. Begsy's been one of the biggest Demko fans forever. Maybe it's because Trevor also saw all his intangibles that, again, don't just come with him playing in net. This guy's a stoic. This guy's a leader. He's exactly the type of person you want to replace JT Miller's void in that room. A dog like that, a superstar talent too. If you can back up that leadership with being an absolute dog, it's the best of both worlds. It's supreme efficiency again in that leadership department. And at the end of the day, this guy's risking everything to come back into the lineup, pushing his body through it. He works hard, works his ass off. He does, dude. I can't think of another goalie that doesn't deserve this. I feel so bad for Thatcher Demko right now.
Well, you saw the smile on Brock Besser's face after the Colorado game when he was asked about Demko getting a shutout, and Besser, who talk about a stoic guy, is pretty stoic himself, had this big smile cracks on his face. He just talks about how happy he is for Thatcher Demko to finally get back to that level. And man, Thatcher Demko is a warrior. I mean, again, ton of love for Kevin Lankinen. It is a what have you done for me lately industry. But But I think the Canucks got to keep Demko too, because, to me, I see it as a bit of a, unemotionally, I guess, a bit of a win-win. Like, he's either going to be here for this hockey team and he's going to play his heart out and he's probably going to play well,
Dude,
or you LTIR him, you get the cap space and he's more or less a dark horse or a black ace for this team.
Yeah, and Trevor, you speak the most truth. When again you talk about him doing whatever it takes for this team, and you see it again in his drive and his willingness to do something kind of stupid, and that's like play through injury. Like he tweaks his body. He's like, I got to pull through for the boys. He's at that point. Thatcher Demko's not like, yo, I think I'm hurt again, but I gotta go out there because I need a new contract in 12 months, or I want to put myself in line for Team USA next year at the Olympics. Like, I got to be able to learn how to play through injuries. No, he's doing the most on that knee because he just wants to be there for Besser, Pettersson, Hughes, and company. Like, the guy's one of the best teammates on this team. Again, more so than ever, JT Miller, with JT Miller's absence, like, that's what hurt me. That's what hurt me. But hey, Lankinen, we're about to learn more about him, and it seems like the room really loves him too. And the way he's playing is top notch. Now, Trevor, before I go to, again, if you have to go right now, you can leave, because I want to throw another question at you that it's on top of mind. Okay, I know we're going overtime, but it's on top of mind. How much credit does Rick Tocchet deserve right now? There's so much talk about this guy not being able to coach offense, doing this, doing that. We don't score enough goals. Again, a lot of injuries. Elias Pettersson hasn't been at his best. That's like losing a goal per game. Like, if you really want to think about him not reaching his potential, like, oh, Tocchet can't coach offense. Well, Pettersson can't do offense consistently. We're losing a goal game. Boom, bam. Like, the things do connect. At the end of the day, though, his communication and his willingness to do the extra work, and even that conversation he had with Pettersson after the San Jose Sharks game, it worked. And the structure and the ability for this team to, like, play within the staples and have some identity, being that gritty team, not allowing a lot. Again, communicating those messages and getting it through at a time where there was so much noise, and it working. It's 6-1-1 in their last 8. Like, yo, Rick Tocchet has proven that he deserves an extension too.
Whoo, wow, that's a bold statement there, but I do truly believe that Rick Tocchet deserves some credit here. Good night, buddy.
Bye.
I do truly believe that Rick Tocchet deserves some credit here. And look, it hasn't been a perfect season for Rick Tocchet in terms of the lineup decisions, but I think we're learning that he has had to deal with a lot. I mean, more than the average NHL coach has had to deal with. And I think he deserves some criticism for the fact that this team is still around dead last in terms of shots on goal. Again, some of that out of control, but some of it in his control too. But the one thing he has done, and it's not sexy, is implement a style that works. I'm not sure if it's a Stanley Cup winning style, but it's a style that can win them games against good teams. And that's clogging up the middle of the ice, shutting it down, and probably playing a bit too safe for some fans' liking. Might not be the sexiest brand of hockey, but it has worked. I feel like Rick Tocchet is almost like the perfect spokesperson for Buckley's. Sometimes it looks awful, but it works, right? So yeah, I do think he deserves a lot of credit for I shouldn't say where the Canucks are this season, because it's not where any of us really want it to be, but he's dealt with a lot, and the Canucks are finding a way to win games. It's not the sexiest way, but Alvin, Rutherford, Tocchet, they don't seem to care. They just want to win hockey games.
Yeah, and again, he's dealing with a lot, and he's, based on his past, like, there's still so much hockey left. Like, who knows what happens in the future, but based on his path, like, there was a path here for this really to hit the rails and, like, fall apart, and him not being a good coach, or last year being an outlier. But I think he's proven that, like, there's levels to this, and he's getting better, and maybe he's adapted, maybe he's evolved. Now he's going to learn a lot from John Cooper too. Like, keeping Rick Tocchet should be a priority. I think he's dealt with a lot, and he's ticked a lot of boxes. And also, he's Quinn Hughes' favorite coach. Like, these things matter. These little things matter. And the process of winning a Stanley Cup and getting there, it's a long one. And you got to build a system. You got to build an organization. You got to build a philosophy. Those things take time. And through all this noise, again, we might be 4 points ahead of a playoff spot by the time the night's over, okay? We might be building something here. Anyways, Kyle Bound, Trevor Beggs went for a long time. Shout out to family, man. Shout out to love. Shout out to the Canucks fans. Hit the like button. The gift basket is getting ready for Elias Pettersson. I've gone to death threats. Again, Trevor, I'll throw in a couple paintings in the gift basket, okay? Thank you, Elias Pettersson, for doing your thing. 3-1 without Quinn Hughes. 3-1-1 without JT Miller. Yo, Canucks are 6-1-1 in the last 8 games. Hit the like button. One love. Beggsy, sign us out.
Hey, we're not here without you and you tuning in, whether you're an everyday or an occasional listener or a first-time listener. We appreciate the hell out of each and every one of you. Man, oh man, Kyle, I know you've been carrying it here on the postcast and Locked On Canucks, but I'm going to miss it, man. We got a 2-week break. No game for the Vancouver Canucks until Saturday, February 22nd, 2 weeks today against the Vegas Golden Knights, of course. The Four Nations we will be covering here on Locked On Canucks as well, with Canucks on every single team except for Canada. Unbelievable. But if you like what we're doing, we love doing this. We hope you love
Trevor,
it too.
I heard that we have more Petterssons than Canadians on the team.
Oh God, I think we have 3 of each. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not, because it depends if you count Noah Juleson. Because I think it's DeBrusque, Juleson. Oh
Susie.
God, I'm missing one more. Susie, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Is Sherwood not Canadian? He's American, son of a gun? Sherwood's an American?
I believe Sherwood's American, yeah. Drew O'Connor's also American. I know you brought that up earlier too. He's not a good Canadian boy. He is from New Jersey. Anyways, if you like what we're doing, subscribe and like on YouTube on the podcast side. Go follow us. Leave a 5-star review. One love to each and every one of you. Go Canucks, go. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy is Kyle Bound. And you've been listening to Locked On Canucks. Suck it, Leafs. Suck it.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.